The United States military has identified 3 of the 4 Americans killed during a suicide bombing in Syria, claimed by the Islamic State, IS group. Jonathan Farmer, a soldier, Shannon Kent, a sailor, and civilian Scott Woods, died in Manbij on Wednesday as a result of wounds from the blast. Instead, a militant had detonated an explosive vest next to an American patrol in the Kurdish-held town. United States forces are operating around Manbij to back Kurdish and Arab forces. The 4th victim of the explosion is an unnamed contractor, according to the United States Central Command. At least 15 people were killed in the blast, and another 3 United States soldiers were wounded. Mr. Farmer, 37, of Florida, served as Army Chief Warrant Officer. He was a recipient of the Army Achievement Medal, Bronze Star Medal, and the Purple Heart, among other decorations. The Marine Corps Times reported, Ms. Shannon Kent, 35, of New York, was a Navy chief cryptologic technician. In a statement, Navy King Joseph Harrison described Ms. Kent as a rock star and leader to many in the Navy information warfare community. The Pentagon did not release Mr. Watt's age, but he was a civilian from Missouri working as an operations support specialist at the Defense Intelligence Agency. They were the first United States casualties, following President Donald Trump's recent order to pull the military from Syria. The investigation into the attack is ongoing. On Wednesday, a suicide bomber, using what the Pentagon called an improvised explosive device, attacked a restaurant near Manbij's main market. The restaurant, the Palace of the Princess, was a favorite among the United States troops, even playing host to Senators Lindsey Graham and James Shaheen. The New York Times reported the troops were to meet members of the Manbij Military Council at the restaurant when the attack occurred. A witness told Reuters news agency CCTV footage from a nearby shop shows a large fireball engulfing several people standing on the street outside. United States soldiers were evacuated by helicopter following the attack, according to local media. The United States-led coalition announced it destroyed an Islamic State group command and control facility on Thursday in a mosque in Syria. ISIS continues to violate law of armed conflict and misuse protected structures like hospitals and mosques, which cause a facility to lose its protected status, said a United States military statement, using another acronym for IS. Last month, Mr. Trump announced that the United States would begin pulling out all its 2,000 troops from Syria because it had been defeated. Opponents of the withdrawal stressed that although it now controls only 1% of the territory they overran 5 years ago, the group had not disappeared entirely. Its fighters have been driven out of almost all of eastern Syria, a recent United States report said. Some 14,000 remaining is militants in Syria and the neighboring Iraq were expected to use guerrilla tactics as they attempt to rebuild their network. United States Vice President Mike Pence said he and President Trump condemned the attack in Manbij, but reiterated that the withdrawal plan would continue as the United States had crushed the IS caliphate and devastated its capabilities. The United States military says it has killed 62 fighters from the Islamist group Al-Shabaab in 6 airstrikes in Somalia. 4 airstrikes on Saturday killed 32 militants, and a further 2 on Sunday killed 28, it said in a statement. These were the deadliest air attacks in Somalia since November 2017, when the United States said it had killed 100 militants. Somalia has seen a sharp increase in the number of airstrikes and casualties since President Donald Trump took office in the United States in January 2017. A tally by the Bureau of Investigative Journalism reveals that at least 400 people have been killed in airstrikes since the beginning of 2017, far more than the previous 10 years combined. The latest strikes bring to at least 30 the number carried out in Somalia so far this year, compared with 35 recorded in 2017. The United States has a huge military base in neighboring Djibouti, from where it launches attacks on the militants. Mr. Trump gave the United States military greater authority in March 2017 to attack militants in Somalia. Traditionally, United States presidents have been wary of intervening in Somalia since 80 Special Forces soldiers died fighting militias in the capital Mogadishu in 1993, a battle dramatized in the film Black Hawk Down. No civilians were killed in the latest airstrikes, which were carried out in coordination with the Somali government, the United States military said. Alongside our Somali and international partners, we are committed to preventing Al-Shabaab from taking advantage of safe havens from which they can build capacity and attack the people of Somalia, the United States Africa Command said. Al-Shabaab, which is linked to Al-Qaeda, has not yet commented on the latest strikes. Somalia-based security think tank the High Royal Institute said in a report published in November that Al-Shabaab had been forced to change tactics following the upsurge in airstrikes. The institute said the group was now conducting fewer mass attacks on military bases, but attacks on government offices and businesses which refused to pay its taxes had increased markedly. The United States State Department, in its most recent report on terrorism, described Somalia as a terrorist safe haven, and said Al-Shabaab remained a threat. Despite suffering setbacks, the group retained control over large parts of the country, and the ability to carry out high-profile attacks using suicide bombers, explosive devices, mortars, and small arms. The report added, a popular tourist attraction has become the latest Chinese company to show solidarity with Huawei's chief finance officer, Meng Wanzhou, who was arrested in Canada on 1 December. China Mountain Scenic Park in eastern Henan province said it would waive the $9.40 65 yuan ticket fee for anyone carrying a Huawei phone. Ms. Meng, who was given bail in Canada, faces extradition to the United States on charges of breaking Iran sanctions. Her case has upped tensions with China. U.S. Huawei phones shoot grand photos on the mountain, a notice on the Shannon Park's social media account said. We wish friends around the world who support Huawei success in bliss. The offer would last until 29 December, the South China Morning Post reported, but it was met with some criticism among China's social media users, who claimed it was discriminatory. Huawei phone owners are being offered other entitlements too. they can get a 20% discount at a bar in Beijing. Seen in Beijing, bring a Huawei phone and get 20% off. Similar to this story, we covered yesterday https t COQXL1IYPQL Twitter, Sokolov. End of Twitter post by @LuoXunji. At least one firm has threatened to penalize anyone buying Apple products. A few days ago, Manbij IS, based London display manufacturer, offered subsidies to any employees buying Huawei phones. It also pledged to fine anyone who bought an Apple iPhone. United States prosecutors alleged Ms. May 46 used a Huawei subsidiary called Skycom to evade sanctions on Iran between 2009 and 2014. They also allege she publicly misrepresented Skycom as being a separate company from Huawei, and that she deceived banks about the true relationship between the two companies. Ms. May, who is the daughter of Huawei's founder, has denied any wrongdoing and said she will contest the allegations.